Yo, we truth seekers, real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers. Yo, I know this life is a fight, but I'm following Jesus the light. Real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers.
I don't know what link I'm putting on here, but it links to something that we have.
They'll find their way.
You will find a way. You will find us somehow. But I'm gonna try one more time. But other than that, what's been going on? How has the summer been treating you so far?
Um, it was alright. AC went out for like 5 days, and they fixed it a couple days early, so that's fixed now.
Hmm. You gotta have that AC. That goes out. All right, I'm gonna try this again.
Yeah, I was having fans and everything blowing. Had to survive through the day, and then at nighttime it was still like 70 degrees, but it felt cold because you were so hot during the day in the house.
Right? Shoot. Yeah, you just can't get comfortable. I don't know what it is.
I can't sleep if I'm too hot. Like my body doesn't do good with heat, so
I don't mind if it's. I don't know. It has to be like just right. Okay, so I like being cold so I can be warm when I
yeah,
sleep.
yeah,
So I will say that. But
yeah.
if I'm not sleeping, I like it warmer.
Well, you can always put more covering on. You can only take so much off, so
True.
you
Otherwise,
take
you
your
just
skin
walking
off,
around naked, just
strip your skin
walking around with
off,
the birthday suit.
and
So
well,
what was I thinking? I forget what I was thinking.
my face is all red. I just got out the shower. It's all dry and stuff.
Man,
So,
all right.
um,
So we talking about what's our topic today?
I think the riots, well, semi-peaceful
The
protests.
protests.
Everybody knows there are riots. I mean, it wasn't a hidden thing. Like they purposely were rioting. So
Yeah, this has been an interesting thing to watch unfold and hear a lot of people's like take on it. And of course, everything goes back to the politics of it all, of course. Is
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot that surrounds it. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into this topic. But
seems there's always a thing behind the thing that's behind the thing for the reasons why stuff happens.
hmm
There's
yeah.
always some type of
I,
strategic move by somebody to try to cause a reaction that they want somehow, some type of reaction they want.
yeah, I have my thoughts on it. But I know you do too. So I wanna
Yeah.
let you jump into it. We'll pray real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, God, thank you so much for just being in control of everything. In a world where there's so much craziness and chaos and turmoil, and there's a lot of division over certain topics. Um, just pray that you will help guide us and direct us, and hopefully those who are listening, this sparks conversation, like healthy conversation when it comes to what's going on. And I know that there's going to be um, a lot of opinions and a lot of uh, you know temptations to just kind of like argue for the sake of arguing and not listen to the other side. But I just hope that you will have everyone, just really, especially those who profess faith in you, to really just be sensible about the words that they say and the thoughts that come out of their minds. So give us all to you. Name and pray. Amen.
So I know it's been what L.A., Chicago, I think New York, I think New York.
there were a lot of cities, especially
Oh,
this past
Detroit.
weekend.
Detroit. I know they had something there, especially on Saturday on the Army's parade day and stuff. The No Kings
And
thing.
Trump's birthday.
Yeah,
Good old
yeah.
good old
Um,
Trump's birthday.
I know Florida won't play in, so I'd highly doubt anything happened there. Florida straight said we ain't playing that. So, um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like all right. So my overall thing, I feel like most of it was like people that were there just to protest. But
Hmm.
then there was always some type of group that showed up with masks on and start destroying everything and starting trying to cause violence and stir up everything. Like
There's always gonna be that.
so
Always gonna be that.
so I do feel like there was like a group of people that really did just go out there on their individual own self to get together and like protest something with signs and stuff. But there was some paid group and some paid individuals by somebody to come out and cause problems and try to get violence going and stuff. Like there's somebody out here trying to cause some type of civil war or something again here in my opinion. Some group is
Yeah.
something like that. I don't
I
know
mean that's
exactly, maybe not that, but something like and it's always political or money, something something dumb that's pointless. You know?
that's human nature. Like there's always like in any major event, and even not major event in history, there's always an outlier that takes it to an extreme.
Yeah,
Like even when it came to like the BLM movement, when it came to shoot, we can even take it back to biblical times, like the whole scene of the birth of Jesus. Like the Romans were kind of really just persecuting the Israelites at that time, and you had some that were kind of just like trying to peacefully do things, but then you had a group called the Zealots who were like overboard and were like, "Yo, let's just start chopping people's heads off and going to fight and doing all this stuff and kind of going overboard." And of course that made it a little bit worse for everything. So
yeah.
it's just human nature. There's always going to be that group, paid or not. But I definitely believe there's a lot that's paid
There's
behind the scenes.
there's one streamer I watch that always says there's two there's two groups of people that cause the problems for for our country. There's always the same two groups of people.
Mm,
And
I
if you
believe it.
I'm not gonna say which ones they are, but what he thinks but I will say all you have to do, and he's not lying, all you have to do is just pay attention to when it shows who is the leaders of these things or like the head of these things and who are the first people to sign up to all these things. And
Mm,
you'll see a similarity or you'll see the same thing happening in all of them where it's the same type of person, same skin color, same sex between female or male, same, and it's always the same type of people that are causing
yeah.
all the issues and having all these groups and stuff. And
Mm.
well, I'll say one of them I know. I can't remember the other one, but one of them is um, it seems to be older white women, older white ladies. Or Karens, what I always say, just Karens. It's like a group of Karens always trying to. But I mean, if you do
I
look
feel
at it though,
bad.
like when they were doing the No Kings thing, the first 10 people to sign up for it was like a middle aged or older white lady. Then you
Yeah.
look at the DEI thing, who ran that and made a bunch of money off of it. bunch of middle-aged old white ladies. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it always seems to be the same. It's like they don't have nothing to
Well,
do or
and
something.
and with that, I think there's like two reasons. One, um, I will bring the whole. One, I mean, they both have to do with racial issues for the most part, because you have this group of like white Caucasian people who have this kind of like white guilt that has been put on them in society these
Right.
days. And like no matter what, like, oh, we got to be careful because we don't want to offend anyone, because just because we're white, just because we're white means we're gonna offend you. Like, and predominantly it's like the white males. Like, there's a whole thing going against white males, and a whole movement right now, government wise, to try to like get white males kind of like on to like that that liberal side aspect. So a lot of it is the white guilt, and I'm very much against it. Like, um, and I've have a lot of black people that I know that are kind of like that hate the fact that I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, like there doesn't need to be white guilt anymore. Like none of these white people that
Yeah.
have done anything against you. Just because something happened way back then, doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, listen, 60 years ago, my mom was a slave,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
which
I mean,
you know, um, but I have that group, and then I have also I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I also believe that there is this aspect of like even over the DEI and racial stuff, there is a group that needs to still be in control. That has nothing to do with DEI. That is not
yeah. Yeah.
that I believe there is like that
Uh,
aspect of like there still needs to be the white man that has to be in charge of and over that. So I think there's those two aspects.
yeah. There's definitely somebody over top of the people that had these things. Like, they're definitely not the top people in any of this stuff. Um, I know some of the. I've seen a couple of things where, or a couple of the rioters said that liberal billionaires were paying them like $200 a day to do it and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's some of the people doing it just because they were getting a payday out of it and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
so there's some group,
probably from both sides.
yeah, there's some group still. It's like a fight for control, really. I think it's just a good versus evil type of fight for control right now over certain things.
No, I think it's a there's so much that goes into it, because okay, I get the aspect of um well, we take it back to even just like the political, like okay, Trump is in office. Um, he is there's a lot of stuff that people are upset about, between tariffs and all this stuff. Um, but of course, the big thing right now is the ICE raids and the deportations and everything like that. Even from like people who are like officials. Well, there was a couple of officials that were rounded up by ICE too.
Yeah,
So I get that people are upset about that, and I get the fact that people want to, especially in today's age, right? Because of the society we live in, the culture, the agendas that we push, there's this equality aspect of um, like you can't just force people or act in a certain way to like deport people and use force and violence and everything like that. And so there's going to be kind of like a force meets force, or violence meets violence, or even just the peaceful protest aspect of it.
yeah. See, I always came up with the whole like, or came up with people that went kind of by a code of if you did it, do like you suffer the consequences. No arguing, no excuses. Like you, you know what I mean. You know what you were. You know what consequences are before doing it. So if you choose to do it, then
Like to
so.
come in illegally, like the legal immigration
Yeah. I mean,
aspect.
yeah. I mean, I just feel like if somebody breaks the law, it doesn't matter what title they have, what position, what power or whatever, they should get charged just like a regular citizen. Like you're nobody's a isn't that the same group of people the whole time kept saying no one's above the law when they're trying to lock Trump up? So if nobody's above the law, why are you complaining now when you're getting in trouble for breaking the law? You know what I mean? Like don't yell about it now, don't switch up on it now. Like if you did something knowing that you're breaking the law and you chose to do it and you got caught, suffer your consequences. Don't be like be a man about it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
well, I say be a man about it as in like don't try to weasel out of something or try to use your position to get out of it now or try to switch up. No, stand on what you what you were saying and stuff. Like
Yeah,
don't be fake about stuff. Like and if you get
I
caught,
think
you
there's
get
as
caught. Do your time. Do what you. I mean, you shouldn't have done what you did. You know, before you did it, what you were doing was wrong. So why'd you do it?
yeah,
I mean, you know.
there's an aspect of like just like on the one side, there's like those who are peaceful about it and those who are violent about it. I think on the other side, there's the same aspect of just
Yeah.
like there's that ice aspect of like I think everyone views ice as just violent and just force.
Yeah.
And that's what's being portrayed. And of course, on the other side, there's a lot that's being portrayed of just violence and force in the riots and everything like that. So there's going to be two sides to every story with that. But
Um, I will say I feel bad for the people. I feel bad for people that were just working and stuff like that that didn't have paperwork or
mhm,
nothing, but weren't like anyone bad or nothing like that. They just were over here. I feel bad for them being deported because they got lied to, but you can't be mad at the person who didn't lie to you. Be mad at the person who lied to you. Take it up with
mm,
them. Don't be mad at the people that are just enforcing the law now. Like you got to take it up with the person who lied to you 20 years ago and let you over here and lied to you the whole time and let you live off of the people paying taxes and stuff. Like so once it came to an end, you got to take that up with that person. They lied to you, not the people that are enforcing the law now. You know what I mean? Like, and then if you
mhm,
have kids, then I mean, it's I don't know. I just feel like it's the reality of the situation. Like, it sucks. It's a sucky situation. But if I was a child, I'd be mad at my parents for coming over illegally and setting me up in that position. Like, there's plenty of
yeah,
people that came over legally that are doing great. I mean, just like Arnold talked on The View, said the same thing. Like, legally, everything's amazing. Like, look what he accomplished. But like he said, it's legally like. And then he said you got
right,
to like, and you know, and to be honest with you, I think a lot of people wouldn't care too much. I think we let too many people in like that. I think if it was a less number and it wasn't a bunch of people being disrespectful and destroying property of America, waving other countries' flags in it, yelling death to America, burning American flags in America, like if it wasn't all that happening, a lot of people probably wouldn't care too much. But
I don't
when you
know. I feel like
have
they're
that,
gonna
like,
find something.
I mean, I feel it. I mean, somebody will, yeah, but I feel like it wouldn't be so serious of a situation. I feel like maybe, I feel like they probably would just do away with catching like illegal criminals and stuff like that, but it probably wouldn't be
Hmm.
so much of a pushback from American citizens if there weren't the riots and protests and there wasn't somebody here illegally talking crap about America and Americans and stuff and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like Arnold basically was just like you don't go into somebody else's house as a guest and be disrespectful and things. You respect them. You do this and that. And then he said, and then once you he said, because you're basically using or borrowing or using the America as a way to chase like your dream and stuff. Kind of like he was kind of using himself situation and stuff like that. But he was basically saying when you
Mm.
come over here, appreciate it, be respectful. Basically, like make your bed every day, clean up after yourself, be respectful, and appreciate the opportunities. And then if you make it, as he was like, as an immigrant, if you go to another country and you make it, then you're supposed to give back to the country because it gave so much to you. He was like, that's how you're supposed to like handle. So, like I said, I think a lot of them probably are straight people and stuff, but you always have one person ruin it for everybody, and then the whole thing has to shut down, and then everything has to be flooded, and or a reset button has to be hit or something like.
That reminds me of school. There's always
Yeah.
one person that ruins something for everybody. The
Yeah.
whole class be doing good and be like, well, like dang it, we were
Yeah.
doing good. Well, there's always one person.
Yeah.
I
So
think that no, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, so that's like, I do feel bad for the people that got lied to and came over and really are just working and all that stuff. But at the same time, if they're not in the system, everybody that's working, you're paying everything for them to be here and live here. That's what your tax money's
Mhm.
going to. So, do you really want millions on top of millions of people, undocumented, whatever, and you are going to have to pay for all of them to live here?
And I know um there's even some like religious groups within America that have kind of even done the same thing that living here and like undocument their children.
Yeah.
I forget who I was talking to about some of the like more uh I guess out of the way religious groups that kind of like don't have social security numbers for their children and don't document their kids and kind of like live off the grid and this and that. So I mean like it hits everything. I think what what comes to mind for me is that there is no like black or white answer for this. Like there's not going to be like a hey, this is the easy fix or solve. And I think a lot of people like want that to happen. Like, oh, well, if we just let them stay, and that's going to fix everything. Oh, well, if we deport them, it's going to fix.
Yeah.
There's not going to be
Nah.
like a black or white that.
Yeah.
I think that that goes back to just like everything that happens. Like, okay, politically, who you voted for. Like, yes, people are upset with Trump in the office right now. If Camilla was in office, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people. She probably would have pissed some people off, and people be upset by this time too. Same thing with Biden when he was in office. People were like, "Don't you wish Trump was in office now?" When Trump was in office, don't you
Yeah.
wish so and like
Yeah.
Hillary was in
Yep.
office? Like, it's no one's ever gonna be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
And so like people like I love it because people assume, and people probably pissed when they hear this, but people assume that like because of my skin color that I voted for Camilla. Like people automatically assume that, and I get people that talk like, "Oh man, don't you aren't you upset?" Like you have no idea who I voted for, and if you did know, you'd probably be pissed off, right?
Yeah.
But um, but that's the thing. Like it's not even about like who you vote for these days, and even not just these days. It's who you vote for, period. Because we have imperfect people, like whoever you vote for, it's not going to be like, oh, this is like the perfect person, right? There's things that Trump does that I like. There's things that Trump has like been for that I'm not a big fan of. Things that Camilla probably would have had that I would be like, oh yeah, I like that. Things that I don't. But I vote and we should all vote for convictions like these specific things like that are true to what we believe like if that is what majority of this person like actually stands for then vote for your
Right.
convictions vote for your beliefs. It's not gonna be perfect. There's gonna be
Yeah,
stuff that the person you vote for is gonna piss you off because we live with imperfect presidents, and
yeah,
I I I take things back to the Bible, man. It all goes back to the fact that like we were given what we asked for. Like I was thinking today, I was like, what if like what if we never asked like a human, we never asked for a king and we just were under God. Like people like that can't happen. Like it could have happened. It could have been that whole time if we had just
yeah.
been under God. Like what would that be like? The answer to God, we probably would still be upset just because.
We wouldn't even be worrying about
But
any type like weapons or nothing. Like,
right, because God is perfect. He's the only perfect ruler that we could have had. But because of the fact that He is a perfect God and there is a standard, and we were given a choice, He gave us the kings that we wanted, and we still have the kings today. They're just they're
yeah,
called presidents. We still,
yeah, yeah.
and they're still causing problems and issues.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, facts. I'm just saying. You might be upset about what I'm saying, but I'm saying it anyway. You have imperfect presidents, um, and that's just what we deal with.
Um, so on the riots and stuff though, um, I feel like I'm not gonna lie. I think Newsom and that who's the other lady? Is she the mayor? She got glasses and the short curly hair. I think she's might be the mayor of California or district or something or LA maybe. I don't know.
Oh, um, Karen Bass,
Yeah, I think so.
what are you
She
talking
got the
about?
short hair, glasses, like
Yeah.
short kind of yeah.
Hmm.
I think I think both of them should be locked up. Just point blank. I mean, you they obviously broke the law multiple times. Like they're still doing it. They literally are fighting against federal government. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what else. They're literally letting at least LA. They're letting LA be destroyed and overran by people that aren't even supposed to be here. A lot of them are criminals and stuff like that. Yeah, these are the people they protect, but they're destroying your city. Like, what do you like? How stupid can
Hmm.
you be? Like, what a I just want to know what their real agenda is with all this. Them too, to be honest.
I
But
know. And there's always an agenda.
but
There's something.
I do feel like they should be charged with something though, because they're just allowing cops to have half pieces of cinder block thrown off of a bridge at them where it could easily kill them and everything. Like stuff lit on fire thrown at them. Like, and you're not allowing your police officers to even defend themselves. Like, they should be charged with
Hmm.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think about these cops and police officers, and like their lives too, right? And I know that that's part of the thing now. If you sign up to be a cop police officer, that is like you are putting your life on the line, because of the unrest that is happening in the nation today. Um,
Like Tom, what Tom
wow,
Homan is that Holman?
Omen.
Yeah. Um, I really do think where it's at this moment, I think we need people like them and what's going on. I think we need that at this moment.
Hmm.
I'm not always for what's happening and stuff like that or what they do, but or like using force or anything. But I mean, if people are here using lethal force against police officers and blocking roads where civilians can't get by. Civilians are stuck and they're literally just breaking like random people's cars and things like that, setting people's cars on fire. I think you should just use lethal force back. Like I don't like if people are that out of control, then I mean, I think it's needed. Um, and then when it's happening all over the world, and not I guess not really all over the world, but when it's happening in multiple places here in the U.S. and it's happening other countries, and it's like they're all supposed to be part of the same thing, and they're all trying to be violent and stuff like that. I mean, at some point you got to bring in people like him and do what Trump's doing and stuff like that, just to bring some type of order and bring it down a level. Like, and then like if you can
Yeah.
bring it down to a certain level, then I think you calm it down and try to figure out a different way of handling things. But where it's at, you got to get that under control quick. So you have to use something
Mm,
like that. I mean,
mm. Yeah. And that it's yeah, like I said, there's no easy answer for it. If there's either going to be force or there's going to be
yeah,
peace or that I don't even think it's even going to be peace. Like peace is out of the equation. Honestly,
yeah,
there's peaceful. There can be peaceful protests or letting what happens. And I think a lot of people. So I was thinking this, and I know like there was an Instagram post that I saw where it was um like being a Jew was legal, but you had people that went against that. Being uh either interracial stuff was legal, but people went against that, and like that laws were meant to be like certain laws were meant to be broken. Okay, all right, I get you the argument there. My thing is that um, we how do I put this? All right, let's go back to this. Here's two questions that I like to ask people. Um, First of all, what let's even use Trump's words, like what makes America great or what has made America great? And then second, when was America ever great?
when he first said that, I thought the same question. Like, what does he mean exactly by that? Because what
But
is
and it's
great
not
in
even
his
just for
mind? It just sounds good.
even not even for Trump, for everybody, because I think everybody has had this rose-colored glasses view of America, which America, I mean, we're very new as far as being a country, right? There's
Yeah,
We are very new. But the reason for the not even the founding of America, because we weren't the first ones here, right? Native Americans were. So, I get people who are like, hey, we're immigrants too. Like, okay, get you. I got that. But let's go back to the reason, like why we or the pilgrims or, they left and search for a new place, a new world. And it was for the fact of religious freedom, right? They wanted to break away from an oppressive religion to have religious freedom to be able to worship God how they wanted to. So that was the whole purpose, right? We've morphed it into like, hey, America is this place where it's not just about religious freedom, it's about I can do whatever I want, be whatever I want. I have the freedom to say whatever I want. And then that those freedoms have kind of like grown
yeah,
to where it's not even just freedom, it's like this entitlement aspect of like America, the place where you come and everything is like great, right? So we should have that aspect.
yeah,
So our whole our whole view of the luxuries and the freedoms that we enjoy, right? We've never we've never been great. We've always had
yeah,
slavery, and we've
yeah,
had war, and we've had um, like uh, immigration type stuff. We've always had this from the beginning, right? We ha- America's never been great,
I
in
mean, you
effect.
think about it, just the fact there's so many different types of people from different places, different beliefs, different religions and stuff. There's always some type of fighting or disagreements and stuff.
Right. So we're trying to fight for a greatness that was never there. It was just our
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
Um.
to
So when it comes,
uh, I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say to Trump, greatness equals money and power. So that's why I think his
Right.
whole angle is money. What he's doing, everything he's doing is something to deal with money for the country and try to get more money to the country.
Right. Money, power, um, equality.
Yeah,
Right.
equality
Those
through
were,
power,
yeah.
through force.
um, the freedom to uh be whatever gender I want to be freedom to believe whatever I want to be, like the freedom to do stuff, right? But falsely, the freedom to do stuff, but also accept everything as well. Like the only thing that we can't do in America freely is believe what we want to believe. That's where it comes in. So, I mean, truthfully, like
You
if you
can't
if you
stop
have a
me from
belief,
believing.
right? Like you can believe what you believe, but you also have to accept what I believe too. Like,
And if it goes against what I believe, then you're not allowed to believe it. All right.
right, right.
But it's
Like then
freedom,
I really
freedom,
don't believe it.
freedom.
Right. So our view of freedom is really skewed.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that all leads back to what we're talking about these riots of like, why are these people rioting? They're rioting because
You
they believe everyone should
you
like
want to
have
know?
this specific.
I
Go
say
ahead.
you want to know what popped in my mind is that is the definition of freedom right there. You want to see freedom? It's the riots because when you give
Hmm.
people full freedom, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna destroy everything and kill everybody and everything else over some opinion they have. So the
Right.
reason I'm saying that is so like on a deeper thought about it, can with human with the way humans are, can you have true freedom? Can it exist without us destroying ourselves?
No. Can never. We don't have true freedom.
No, we can't.
We can't because the truest freedom like means that you have to give up everything that you truly desire.
You gotta stop thinking.
Like,
You gotta take your brain out your head because you can't think about nothing. You just gotta be in your own
yeah, your truest freedom
in your
has
own
nothing to do with
realm.
you, and
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. And
yeah,
so, like,
true.
if we as Americans believe in freedom the way we think about it, then we have nothing to protest against because you
Yeah.
have the freedom to riot and protest, but they have like Trump and all of his like
Hmm.
organization have the freedom
To
to
do what they
deport,
want. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then the people who illegally come in have the freedom to illegally come in, but we have the freedom to also deport. Like everything that we
Then it
talk
just
about as
goes back
freedom,
and forth. Yeah.
it just goes back and forth. Is what it, like you can't win when it comes to freedom, which is why like you think about how God could have just like truly given us freedom and not given us choice. Freedom comes in choice. Because if we really wanted to be free, we would be
Yeah.
free of not having to make that choice,
Yeah.
of not having to decide between this and
The
that.
only freedom is choice, really. Yeah. I guess
And
true
because God
freedom
gave us a
is
choice,
choice.
he
Yeah.
yeah,
That would be the
God
only
gave us the
true freedom.
choice to like accept him or not accept him. God gave us a choice whether to have him rule over us or have our own kings.
Yeah.
we've been given the choice to do whatever we want, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that
And we
is
call it
freedom.
freedom, but
Yeah.
it really is oppression.
Yeah, so choice is really the only freedom. Guess that's what God meant by freedom then. The freedom of choosing. Then of course
Well,
there's
freedom would have
there's like laws and consequences to choices depending on where you are and stuff, but you still always have the freedom to choose in situations and stuff.
yeah, yeah, like as much as like I see both sides, the fact that you can see both sides is the issue. Like, yes, there's there's violent ICE agents and there's violent people
Yeah.
deporting and all that stuff like that, and there's people being ripped from their families and their homes and this and stuff. I see that side. It's heartbreaking,
Yeah.
feels wrong, all that stuff. But I also see the side of you got people who are here illegally. Some of them are criminals. Some of them aren't like actually giving back to the country. Some of them like
Yeah.
so that's wrong too. Like you can't have if you can see both sides and you can see the good and bad on both sides, then that means that there's always going to be that clash.
Well, I remember there was one lady that was being deported. She's been here for like 30 years and she was complaining, people complaining about her being deported. And I'm like, you've been here 30 years and you haven't even learned the language. You haven't put no effort to becoming a citizen in 30 years. You've just been living off of the government and stuff and tax. Like, if you've been here that long and you're not a citizen by then, you need to go then. Like, that's your fault. Like,
Hmm.
that's your fault for at some point not choosing to get a citizenship, like, or put the effort into at least learning how to speak the language where you're living at and stuff. Like, that's
Yeah,
just
and
that's
that is a big thing.
like, if you're
Like
going,
if I were to move to like I've always thought Ireland would be kind of cool to move to. But if I would move to Ireland,
yeah,
right? Um, and I'm choosing to live there, be a part of that
yeah,
culture, be a part of that country, like you
yeah,
know,
be a part of the culture, learn their culture, adapt to it, and be a part of it. Like,
right.
and then
There's
and
still
then
and there's the
like give like be a part of it as in um like give back as in like whatever you serve or something or do something, you know what I mean, like be involved, like actually be turn yourself into an Irish man, yeah.
right, right, and that's why we have um like we have Spanish American, we have
Yeah,
Mexican Americans, we
yeah,
have I'm German American or whatever like that. If I go to Ireland, I'm not just American. If I go to Germany, I'm not just
yeah,
American,
yeah,
right? If I'm actually now if I'm actually becoming a part of that culture, if I'm actually getting a citizenship there, then I'm American German, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like I'm not just like
yeah,
and so you can still have pride in your culture, you can still have pride in your country, you can still but you are also like a citizen now of that country. So,
and
and there are plenty that have like I've had friends that like have come here legally and have embraced like their culture, but
yeah,
also
yeah,
the American culture too. And you
hmm,
can see that. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
yeah, be proud of both, but just know like on those things, see people got mad at that singer who sung the national anthem in Spanish at the Dodgers game or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Now, I get appreciating your heritage and stuff like that, but you're in America, you're in LA, you know what's going on. You're a Spanish girl or whatever. I don't know what she was. I don't know if she was Mexican or something else, but and you the Dodgers literally told her not to do it and to sing it in English, but you still went out there anyways and sung it in Spanish. Is like if you're gonna be that highly disrespectful, then you don't deserve to do nothing again. Like if you can't even go by what the people that you're doing it for asked you to do, then you don't deserve to work with nobody else. Like You know what I mean? Like I don't. And then you see her friends in the stands laughing about it and recording it with their phones like it's something funny. Like why?
Yeah.
And then you're not gonna be laughing if they deport y'all or something or do something else. Then y'all aren't gonna laugh. Y'all gonna complain about it. But you're being highly disrespectful to people in America. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Especially, you know what you're doing, especially what's going on in LA and everything. You know what you were doing. Everybody knows what you were doing by doing that.
Yeah, there's
So
a
it's
time and
like,
place. I think there's a time and
yeah,
place.
yeah, exactly. And that was not it for that. Like, especially if the team their self that you're doing it for, the company or whoever that's got you coming there to do it. If they tell you not to do it, then don't do it. Like just don't do it. Like it's not
Yeah.
smart to but but yeah, I mean like they say there's a time and a place for things, you know what I mean? That just was not the time to do something like that, especially with what's happening. You got to be aware of what's happening in LA and then you do something like that, people aren't going to be happy about it.
Hmm.
Um trying to think of oh, real fast while I have some time. Minnesota, the No Kings. I seen they caught the guy who assassinated the lawmakers in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they caught him. I don't know if it's true. Everyone, this ain't me saying this is what the truth is, but I have seen quite a few things talking about that he might be linked to Tim Walz, Kamala's vice president pick, and the who is he like the governor of Minnesota or something.
Hmm.
They said the shooter might be linked to him. So I mean, the dude has like a straight military Russian haircut. Looks like he would be a CIA agent or something. He's no regular old person, all crazy person off the street. He's definitely a professional, paid person to do the assassinations. You can just look at him and tell that. Like, so you have that going
The whole
on.
No Kings thing.
Detroit.
The whole No Kings
I
thing
guess it
is just
got a little violent in Detroit with the whole No Kings protest when all that was going on. Um, Chicago has a problem. That dude, that mayor needs to be locked up too. That Brandon dude,
Mm.
that dude needs to be locked up for real. He's power hungry.
Oh,
He
you gonna
thinks he's
lock everybody up.
untouchable. Certain ones, yeah, because they think they're untouchable, but you break the law. I mean,
Yeah.
you should. I mean, why? If I did it, I would be under the prison. So why should they go free if they do it just because they're a mayor? No, that don't. That's the same person who was yelling, "Nobody's above the law." So nobody's above the law. So it's only a matter. He'll
It
be,
just
to be honest with you, in my opinion, I think he would be smarter to step down and a step away because Chicago don't play. You already know they don't play, and he already
yeah,
has the
no, I agree.
civilians that and the people that live there talking about they're coming for his seat and they're coming for him if he don't change this and that. So they already been threatening him. So I think he'll
Hmm.
probably be smart just to step away and move away from Chicago, probably because I mean, and it's all over reasonable things though, because look how much money he keeps. He still approved another big amount of money to go towards people being here illegally in Chicago, and you got people starving to death. Kids don't even have health or nothing like that. Or can't even get educated, nothing like that. So how do you have your own citizens on the street and suffering and all that stuff like that, but you keep getting more money for people who aren't even supposed to be here but won't do shit for your own people? Like that's why
Hmm.
they're mad at him. You know what I mean? He keeps giving money to them but won't do nothing for his own people there. Like, and that's my opinion on it. If you're in a position that you're supposed to be in a leader position or role and you're supposed to be looking after people, look after your people first. Don't sit
Right.
here and take all the money and resources that's supposed to go to them and give it to people who aren't even supposed to be there, who are just like a get. Even if they were, they're just guests. You're supposed to take care of your people first. Like at least make sure they have what they need and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like I don't that's why I'm against those three people in a way, saying I think they should be locked up because they're literally putting their own people that they're supposed to be protecting in harm's way. They're taking all
Hmm.
the resources from the people they're supposed to be helping and giving it to people that aren't even supposed to be here instead. So they're more protecting the criminals than they are protecting their own people. So that's why I'm like, if anything, either they should be charged with stuff or they should just go, if they love them and want to take care of them so much, send them along, deport them too. Send them along with them, tell them to go
Hmm.
somewhere else and take care of them then. Like, I mean, that's why a lot of people though, like, or at least in Chicago, I seen are mad and starting to threaten in a way. Like,
The whole no kings thing is just makes no sense to me.
it's some organization is paying all this stuff to do it. They got some agenda. It's always those organizations and groups that will never show their face or nothing like that, or never
Yeah.
really admit it and stuff.
And whatever the people want to think, they those are kings.
Yeah.
The no kings aspect of it, because like, okay, so who are we defining as a king? They're defining like authoritative, like figures, like the patriarchal aspect as like the kings, like they can't be above the law, they can't, da 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 da. All right, take them out of the picture. Who's next in line? There's always going to be another king.
Hmm.
Like that is just human
Yeah.
nature, right? You don't have you like,
Hmm.
it even goes to animal kingdom. You don't have a bunch of lions walking around being like, "Yo, no, 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 no kings," right? There's gonna be a leader, right? Wolf pack. There's gonna be a leader. Um, the only ones that don't have like really a king are a bunch of sheep, which is what we are.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of sheep crying no kings, right? But we don't realize is that we, being sheep, are following kings every single day. It just may not be the king that you like, right? Or the king that you like at the moment. We have right now Trump in a kingly role, right?
Yeah.
But BLM, the like that was a king,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Behind pulling strings. The no kings thing. There's people behind there pulling strings. They are kings. We have just chosen as a society to follow the wrong kings for one. And again, I always go back. All goes back to the Bible. It's about the God. Like we threw him out of our lives, and now we're like, what do we do? Like
Yeah.
we have these
Yeah.
people that we don't have.
Yeah. Um, the no kings thing, I think I always thought it or took it as they always try to claim that Trump's going to try to do away with like elections and he basically would be the king because he would always be in the
Dictator.
office and stuff like that, or be the president, whatever. Um, and then one other thing I seen was some of the rioters too in LA were talking about that they don't even care about taking the land back. They just want to take all the resources from the land and take it back with them to Mexico. So they're just more
Mm.
interested in still like taking all the resources from those areas and stuff. Um, don't know if that's
Yeah,
true, but I
protest
mean,
highlights the belief that the president should not have unchecked power or be immune from accountability like a king. Um,
I don't think they want to do that then, because then they're gonna have to go and lock up Hunter Biden and everybody else that was in
they're gonna lock
office
up a lot
before.
of people.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. If you think about it, that literally do it. So if they want to do that, weren't they against Trump doing that to everybody? But now they want it like it doesn't make sense. It's going against what their whole agenda is. Like,
That's what I said. The
because I
sides.
don't.
You can see both sides of the issue.
Yeah,
Then yeah, and it all goes back to this. Like we really, if we think about what freedom is, we really don't want freedom, right? Or we do want freedom. You either do it. If you want freedom, then you need to go to every single person in this country and find out their agenda and reason for being here. If they have like criminal intentions, this that, you need to go to every single person. That would take forever. You can't do that, right? That would be freedom, right? Because you have to make that choice. You have to decide that choice. If we want freedom, then everyone would have to have that king aspect of being able to be like, okay, here's this. We can't do that. That would be choice.
Yeah.
We don't really want freedom. We want
Um,
someone to rule over us, but we yeah,
that's
we want them to do it. Yeah.
somebody else I was watching. That's the other point I was gonna say. Somebody else I was watching was saying that if you look at how the riots are happening, they don't want to get rid of the police. They want to be the police. So it's not that they want to get rid of some type of law, they want to be the law. So they're trying to take over that spot so they can tell what's going to happen and tell you what to do and all that.
Hmm.
So it's not about them getting rid
Yeah.
of laws, it's about them being the law.
And then if they were the law, some other group was going to be like, "Yo, we want to be the law instead of you," and so they would go back and forth, and then another group, like, it would just continuously go on. Like there's
Yeah, because I mean, the Chicago gangs spoke up and said that protesters and stuff, or rioters, better not come down their street, or people would be executed on site and stuff.
hmm
I seen where a biker gang, I guess, I think it might have been in North Carolina, but a biker gang that's known for being pretty like rough and stuff and pretty violent ran into some protesters that were like started yelling at them and stuff, and I'm like, y'all are
hmm
going up the wrong, like y'all are
yeah,
going at the wrong people, like it's not what
that's
you want to do.
no.
Oh, and
I'll
then
say this, like,
one more thing while it's on my mind, and then I'll let you finish off. Um, I did see too today where there was a reporter that was down there reporting, but she was standing in the middle of the street. She was reporting and stuff like that. And one of the ICE agents shot her in like the ankle or the lower leg with the beanbag. And now
yeah, I remember that.
the news company themselves, I think, is trying to sue ICE or whatever for doing that. But even I think she said on her video, like she was the only one standing in the road still because they told everybody to get off the road, and she just stayed standing on the road talking into the mic, looking at the camera. So they shot her in the leg. I think they did. I think he actually was being nice about it because he could have shot her anywhere he wanted to. Like he could have shot her in the head if he
Hmm.
wanted to, but he decided to shoot her in the ankle or something, where she can just be like, "All right, I gotta." But they're trying to turn that into a whole let's sue them and all this. She was standing in the
Yeah.
middle of the road, like, and they told him to get off the road, and she just stood there reporting still and stuff. Like, but go ahead, you go ahead, finish.
I'll just say this, and it may make some people mad, but that's okay. Um, like, if you, anyone listening, if you do not want a dictator, right? If you want a democracy, then you need to accept the fact that stuff's gonna happen in this democracy that you're not gonna like. It wasn't just one person that put whoever's in office. We all did by wanting and fostering a society where there's choice, right? If we didn't want someone specific in office, then we would take away the choice. But
Yeah,
we want freedom of choice. Okay?
yeah,
If you didn't want certain um, agendas, if we didn't want certain, and this is for both sides, if you didn't want certain agendas, if you didn't want certain this, that, then you wouldn't want a choice. You wouldn't want freedom. But we do want freedom, right? And so that means freedom for things that happen that we don't like, and freedom the things that happen that will enforce laws that we may not like, and freedom for things to happen in this world that we do not like. and that goes for whether you're a Christian or not or whatever like that. There's like if I want to live in a country that is free, right? Then I gotta realize that there's gonna be stuff that's gonna happen. There's gonna be um, agendas and things that are happen that are go against my belief, right? I'm gonna vote for what I believe. I'm gonna vote
Yeah.
for that. But I'm also going to realize that I live in a world where not everyone believes that I believe.
Yeah.
Not going to change what I believe,
Yeah.
but I understand that I live in that world,
Yeah.
and that's not going to change. So these riots and protests, you have the freedom to do that, right? But realize that freedom comes with a cost, and that means
Hmm.
that if you want freedom for everybody, then you got to realize that there's going to be stuff that's going to happen that is going to be against your
Yeah.
convictions, beliefs, religion, like all of that.
If you
And
want,
so,
yeah, go ahead, Finn. Go ahead.
what was I say? Like, if you want true freedom, you have to die to yourself.
Yeah. Like if,
And that's yeah, that's the whole thing about God. Like the freedom was in the Garden of Eden where we didn't have to make those choices. We didn't have to worry about
yeah,
is this the right thing or the wrong thing. We didn't have to worry about like should this happen or this law or this that it was taken care of us by a perfect God, and we threw that away. So we live with we live with the consequences of that.
yeah. I was gonna say, ask anybody who's been to war before and fought for the country if freedom has cost anything or not. You
Facts.
know? I will say, I voted for Trump. I feel like they only presented us with two options, and the option that was in there and the other option they presented us with to take over, I definitely did not want in there anymore. So I just felt like let's try the other one. That's really
Right.
why I usually don't even vote. The only reason I did is because I'm like the people that are in there can't stay in there. They gotta go. Like anything is
Mm,
a better try than to keep those people in there.
right.
But it doesn't mean I agree with everything Trump does. I don't. But it comes with like you always gotta take good and bad because life is all about a balance of stuff. You gotta take stuff.
Mm.
It's not always gonna be all good and stuff. So
Facts.
yeah,
All right.
love
Well,
y'all.
I gotta bounce.
Stay easy.
But this was good.
Yeah.
This was good.
Y'all got any opinions or whatnot on it? Leave your comments.
Yes. Feel free to give comments.
Yeah.
You won't hurt our feelings. You
No.
won't change our beliefs either.